Guys, our planet Earth is calling. Many estimates say that about 1 out of 8 plant and animal species will be at risk of dying out, many within just decades. Nature is declining at unprecedented rates. And that happens because of the changes in land and sea use, overexploitation, pollution, and of course, climate change. To be fair, China has emerged as a leader in reversing the trend of climate change and has launched what they've called a green revolution.
Now, I'm curious about it. I want to find out more about it. That's why I'm traveling to Zhangjiakou, a city some 250 kilometers north of Beijing, and see how green electricity is being generated and making a difference.
This is a must-go place, the Zhangbei Power Transmission Project. What it does is to integrate large amounts of remote hydro, solar, and wind energy into a transmission ring and send it to surrounding areas like Beijing with minimal loss by flexible high-voltage direct current technology. This place is capable of providing 22.5 billion kilowatt-hours of green electricity a year.
我们这个技术呢，其实就是把张北换流站换流出来的电能，然后我们通过这个线路呢，把它传输到北京去。我们这根电缆呢，就是传输线路中的一段很重要的一部分。目前这个电缆那个试验电压投运的电压是535千伏，现在国际上投运的最高电压等级是320千伏，相对来说要提升了很大的一截。我们的直流电缆引下来，进入到隧道中进行一个传输，减少了走廊占用。 对于那种环境的影响，实际上可以降到最低。
那这个传输的电能够满足北京用电量的多少呢？
如果这个张北工程蛮符合的，大约到1/9到1/6之间，
哇，还是很大的一个比例的。
是的，是的。
Cables are like powerful blood vessels, but in order to continuously transmit such a large amount of electricity and to achieve overall coordination and reduce losses, a strong heart is necessary.
徐主任您好，
哎，你好，王老师，欢迎来到我们换流站，先把安全工作服
换上衣服是吧？
对，
好。往北京发的这些绿色清洁能源，源头是这儿。
对，没错。我们现在所处的柔性直流换流阀的阀塔是整个柔性直流技术的最核心的位置。传统电网就是上世纪60年代以前。 大范围的输电主要是靠交流电，但是交流输电本身存在一个不可逾越的问题，就是随着电压等级的升高，随着输电距离的增加，交流电压会有10%到20%的能量会损失在这个输电线路上，这对于我国的能源布局来说是不可接受的。对，所以需要新的输电方式。柔性直流输电技术是用于波动性的新能源并网的最好的方式。 像我们所面对的这个阀塔，可以把300万千瓦的交流电力变成直流电力，从康宝张北站输送到北京，然后在北京站，同样的换流站再把300万千瓦的直流电逆变回交流电，供给北京的居民使用。
真的好厉害！
This core engine of green power supply is providing cutting-edge technological support for China's power transformation. But as a major carbon emitter, what challenges does China face on its low-carbon road? Professor Pan Jiahua, a leading expert in the area, shared his thoughts with me.
China outpeaking with enormous efforts will appear before 2030, and then for carbon neutrality before 2060, 30 years, only half of the duration as compared in the developed countries. So this is a huge challenge, but we do have the confidence. The confidence comes from such technology. Now, we have a new paradigm, eco-civilization, solar, wind. You can have a very comfortable consumption.
But in reality, what are the challenges China is facing?
You cannot get, a go in one step, because we have a huge power system. So, if you want to make the change, it requires time to develop.
the honor to announce the host city, Beijing.
This is one of the beneficiaries of the Roju power plant. I'm standing at the site of the 2022 Winter Olympics at a ski jumping venue. This is so exciting, and actually everything you see, the electricity, the snowmaking, the heating, are all powered by green electricity, the first of its kind in the history of the Olympics.
You know, in the past, even now, in northern China, heating is from the burning of coal, the burning of natural gas, and all these are very carbon intensive. And now here, such a huge, you know, structure, we use zero carbon electricity. That means that, you know, in your room, in your house, in the buildings, in your offices, everywhere, zero carbon is not a problem. Now solar power is so cheap. It's only 1/3 of the coal-powered electricity. Everybody can afford it, even can benefit from it.
And this is Deshengcun, a village in the suburbs of Zhangjiakou. It has a population of 1,200 residents, not particularly big by Chinese standards, but this village made a huge decision several years ago to go green. And that decision made an impact on the local villagers here.
你知道吗，雅茹？我刚来这个地方的时候，真的感觉很哇，叹为观止，这么大的一片地，而且这么多太阳能板。
对，其实王冠老师，您看到的这片光伏面板，它以前的这片地是一片荒滩，但是呢，现在就靠这个发展光伏，然后现在村民有这个收入来源啊，我们叫它铁杆庄稼。
我们下来看一看。
好，那
好，在这儿吗？
对，王冠老师，我们这边走。它这一块啊，你可以看到，它这个就是属于多年生草本植物。这片就是我们种植的这个黄芩，文贵互补呢，就在于它既利用了这片土地，然后发展这个光能，底下呢土地也不浪费。
太阳能板其实它是会根据这个太阳光的方向，
对，
每隔一段时间就会调整方向。
对。
啊，它不会完全遮住这片土地，
对，所以它不存在一些
农作物需要的这些阳光和水分。
对，还可能有一些优势呢，它可以阻挡一些风力，去影响它生长。
雅茹，你知道吗？之前咱们说到，你告诉我这儿有2600亩的地都装了这个太阳能光伏板，
是，
真的是非常大。
包括它现在呢，依靠这么大面积的地呢，我们村户也有很多的经济收入，并且我们有一座500千瓦的电站，一年大概60万元的一个收益，然后我们就分给各个村户。
这么多的太阳能板，谁来维护？
也会有定期的一些维护人员啊，几乎每天都要巡视一遍，并且呢去发现问题就及时检修。
各位老师们辛苦了，每天来巡检多少次？
基本上是一天过来转一圈。王光老师，您看一下这个跟踪系统的一个控制柜，是可以控制板的角度的，电机带着所有的板的，它的调的角度啊很微小。
那这些太阳能光伏板可以产生多少电？
一年可以发的电是在8000万千瓦时左右啊，基本上全是送到国家电网的，就是有一少部分电是供我们站里头啊，就是自发自用。我们清洁能源的电呢，就是
占比越来越多，对，
占比越来越多，二氧化碳的排放呢越来越少了就。
The development and use of solar energy has brought a greener environment and a better life for people here. In the broader picture, what impact has this renewable approach brought to China's economy?
China is the biggest, producer in terms of solar PV panels. 70% of the world total, originates from China. The thing is that, not only this sort of scale, but also the technologies, it's been improving all the time. For solar PV panels, from the rock all the way to the panels installation, maintenance, enormous amounts of job positions. And this creates the power for economic growth, for a stable and sustainable supply of energy.
When China announced its plan to significantly catch up with the rest of the world, especially the industrialized countries, and even surpassing them when it comes to going from little carbon to carbon neutrality to perhaps one day zero carbon. How would you compare China's ambition against the global and historical context?
We are still a developing country. It's really, a challenge for China to make the conversion from fossil fuels to these clean renewables. We are making the try to a certain extent. We are taking the need, scale of installation and the amount of generation of electricity, absolutely a leader in the world.
All right, Professor Fines, we learned a lot. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
China says it wants to reach the goal of carbon neutrality by the year 2060. And what that means is it will have to increase the use of renewable energy sources. And to be fair, the country has been working towards that goal. For our next episode, we'll go to a major Chinese metropolis and see how a low carbon mentality and low carbon lifestyle is taking root there.